There is no way, even if you accept every single thing that let's call it the green lobby, just broad term, but the people that believe in climate change you accept all of them. The only solution to that problem, realistic solution to that problem that doesn't roll us back to the Stone Age, is nuclear power.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I'm trying to make inferences from what you said. So you think the possibility of a nuclear disaster and figuring out what to do with the waste is less urgent than, how would you rank that in terms of climate change?
Oh God. Once again, if you accept all of the claims of greenhouse gases and then throw all the things that we do know about pollution from carbon, burning of carbon fuels, nuclear energy decimates all of those, even taking into account nuclear waste and disasters.
Okay, sir, where are we today?
We are in sunny Miami.
It's nice out here. And what's your name, sir?
Mark.
All right. And what is your name, sir?
Steven.
And what do you go by?
Steve or Steven.
Good enough.
Destiny online, yeah.
Okay, I should say. Okay, so today we're going to do, there is a climate emergency. There is a climate emergency. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, move. First of all, let's define emergency. How do you define emergency?
Emergency is something that's coming quickly and of tremendous importance.
Do you agree with that definition?
Close. I would agree that it's of tremendous importance, but I would say instead of coming quickly, I would say it's something that you have to act quickly to respond to. Basically, yeah.
Are you on? Okay.
That's fine.
So you're on strongly disagree that there's a climate emergency. Why?
I strongly disagree that it's a climate emergency because every example I've seen of trends in the weather, and the climate, not the weather, has been cherry-picked on the particular time period of the history of weather that suited the conclusion that was trying to be arrived at.
Who's cherry-picking that? By academics or
certain scientists that are in that field?
Like who? Do you know of any?
Oh gosh. No, I don't know their names. I've looked at their charts. I've looked at their data. I'm embarrassed that I didn't really care the name itself. I just accepted them as experts.
Okay. You're on the agree that there is a climate emergency. Tell him why.
Let me Google some names real quick. So, it seems like, despite the progressions that I've seen, that I'm going by articles that I see posted on sometimes the NASA website, and then publications that the IPC makes, the International Climate, is it ICP? IPC? That it seems like even in you've got like the doomsday projections, you've got like the modest projections, and then you've got like if we take the best route projections, it feels like we're on like the doomsday projection, and that the climate has been steadily raising across the planet. It seems like year after year. I think this last year again was supposed to be another hottest year on record, and it feels like we're just continuing to move in that direction, and people don't seem to care that much.
Okay. New claim. If climate change is not addressed, humanity will be extinct within 100 years. If climate change is not addressed, humanity will be extinct in 100 years. Move. Oh, you're both on strongly disagree. You guys have a coin? Anybody have? I have a coin. Call it in the air. Heads or tails?
Heads.
Hold on. Tails. So you lost. Sorry. So you have a choice.
Okay.
You can send him to the strongly agree, or you can go to the strongly agree to Steelman.
I could Steelman, sure.
Okay, go to the strongly agree. He's going to try to Steelman that position. So if climate change isn't addressed, humanity will be extinct within 100 years. Give him your best argument for that.
Perfect. The two things he claimed before. One, that the IPCC was on the doomsday level. The people that actually wrote the statements have all retracted them and said that they were misconstrued in the press, that is not what they said. Second of all, the hottest year on record has a massive fundamental problem with that. It is true, but those weather...
What year is that?
This year, and then last year, and then last year, for like 10 years now. The problem is that those weather stations are sitting in concrete islands, cities, airports, and those concrete islands year after year get bigger and bigger, trapping more heat by the research station.
Okay, so I know that you don't believe this, and I also know that a million people are going to meme this out. So it was brave of you to stand there. What argument would someone make, for who was on the strongly agree, for if a climate change isn't addressed, humanity will be extinct within 100 years?
It's very hard to measure runaway effects sometimes, that it seems like humanity might be adaptable to a wide variety of changes, but it might be that there's a certain amount of carbon dioxide that could be released when enough ice melts that you create like a runaway greenhouse effect, and then you end up with a planet like Venus where you've got an atmosphere that's trapping in heat significantly more than it does now. And rather than us having to shift crops around or shift cities around, you end up with a planet that's largely inhospitable to all of the agriculture that we're used to, that starts to cause runaway death and destruction when it comes to agriculture, when it comes to animals and forests, and then humans aren't able to find food. And then eventually, as this stuff continues to snowball out of control, you have no way to control like the increasingly dire situation on the planet, and the runaway effects lead to extinction level events, basically.
So the runaway effect, someone who would make that claim, they're talking about linking causal chains of possibility together.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
That if we do believe that, and it seems to be the case, we believe that carbon dioxide can be highly correlated with changes in the climate, that once you hit a certain point, because of the composition of the atmosphere, it's just going to get warmer and warmer and warmer, and there's no way to really control because you can't reflect back enough heat into space anymore. Yeah.
You want to address that claim?
I would say it's an honorable attempt. The problem is it's fantasy. It's a possibility, but if I had to bet, I wouldn't bet a single penny on that possibility.
Okay, so you think the argument that he gave is possible, but so unlikely as to be not worth serious consideration? I don't want to put words in your mouth. I'm
yes,
just trying
because
to...
if I had to put it on one thing, the example he gave, which was Venus you used, I'm sorry? Venus. Venus is not Venus because of carbon dioxide. Venus is Venus because of its distance from the sun.
Okay, new claim. Nuclear energy is required to address climate change. Move. Tell him why you slightly disagree.
Required is a really strong word. You could either try to do entirely green energy grids, which I don't think is possible yet. It might never be possible. But it's also conceivable that climate change could be largely stopped or halted such that it's put out thousands of years if you have a largely green grid, but you're still powering it on the back end by certain fossil fuels like natural gas. And it's also possible that other technologies like carbon scrubbing and stuff could get to a point to where you can continue to burn fossil fuels, but you could retract the carbon from the air, basically. It's possible.
Nuclear energy, you're a fan. Tell him why.
I'm operating on the assumption your question is about what exists now and is possible now.
That is correct.
Okay, there is no way, even if you accept every single thing that let's call it the green lobby, just broad term, but the people that believe in climate change you accept all of them, the only solution to that problem, the realistic solution to that problem that doesn't roll us back to the Stone Age, is nuclear power.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I'm trying to make inferences from what you said. So you think the possibility of a nuclear disaster and figuring out what to do with the waste is less urgent than... How would you rank that in terms of climate change?
Oh, God. Once again, if you accept all of the claims of greenhouse gases and then throw all the things that we do know about pollution from carbon, burning of carbon fuels, nuclear energy decimates all of those, even taking into account nuclear waste and disasters. People killed by quality of air dwarfs people killed by nuclear disasters. Exposing nuclear waste in a nicely put together can is a lot easier than dealing with particles in the air at random.
Okay, final claim. Solar plus batteries could power the entire U.S. Move.
Current technology, correct?
Current technology. Okay, you're slightly agree.
My understanding is solar has gotten really, really, really cheap. Theoretically, it's possible, I think, if you were to coat like a ton of California and a ton of Texas, just because of how much land mass is there to do it. But then you would have to find a way to wire that power to the rest of the country, which would, again, theoretically, this is possible, but like the infrastructure project, the amount of money it would cost, the maintenance, whatever money you're saving. Oh, fuck, I want to move to the neutral. Whatever money
you can move the neutral.
It's fine. I'll be here. Whatever money you're saving doing solar power because of the low cost of what solar power has become, my guess is you would immediately lose that for hundreds of years in the amount of infrastructure you'd have to build to like route that power across the country.
And Musk wanted to build solar roofs, and other people have talked about solar roads, solar sidewalks.
Listen, man, I'm from Nebraska.
Yeah.
It already takes us 20 fucking years to fix every goddamn road.
Yeah,
If my roads were made out of solar energy, I don't know how much longer it's going to take them to fix
Yeah.
anything, but
Even not taking in consideration everything he just said, you have a problem, which is transmission. I know it's not sexy. I know it doesn't make the news, but it's a massive problem. The studies that I've seen, the data I've seen, the engineers that I've read in this aspect say that not enough copper has been mined out of the ground in the history of copper mining to just support vehicle charging. Forget everything else. The charging stations, transmission from the power generation to the vehicle charging stations. And you can't localize that because the amount of amperage required to charge a vehicle is massive. It has to come from a massive operation. It can't be 4 panels on top of the charger. There isn't enough copper, period, currently to do it.
All right, go back to the neutral, please. Last question. I'm going to repeat the first question. There is a climate emergency. Move. So same lines. Okay, guys, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.